I've been playing Destiny in some way, shape, or form since its initial release in 2014, and with the latest Witch Queen expansion, I can without a shadow of a doubt tell you that Destiny 2 is in fact the best it has ever been. I want to tell you all the things that I love about the current state of the game, as well as some tips that have helped me navigate the game in 2022. I know that these will work for you because they're pretty common tips, but I just wanted to try this style of video and see, how it would work out. But first, before we get into any of that, we have to talk about how we even got to this point, so buckle up for a couple minutes. Destiny 1 came out in September of 2019, and little did gamers know that this game was going to have a major impact on the gaming industry, and things would never be the same for console gaming or gaming in general. Many Destiny players will say that the Taken King expansion was huge for the game because of all the things it changed and added to the game, and some might even argue that the Taken King was the best that Destiny 1 ever was, especially after its arduous journey and identity crisis in its early life. With releasing smaller DLC like The Dark Below and The House of Wolves, players ran out of things to do very quickly, and many players, myself being one of them, jumped off the Destiny train, until the complete overhaul of the Taken King came along, and then I was on the hook again. When Destiny 2 was announced, it was very divisive amongst the community, as we would find out that all our hard work from the past few years would be null and void, and we would be starting from scratch. Needless to say, that was a very big deal and turned a lot of veteran D1 players off to the idea, so they stayed in Destiny 1, and Destiny 2 moved on, but with a bit of dirt in its eye.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
It's a fun fact for you, there's actually still Destiny 1 players that are going strong and, I'm sure refuse to move to Destiny 2, so kudos to them. Destiny 2 followed a similar pattern to Destiny 1 with releasing smaller content packs like the Curse of Osiris and Warmind in its first year of content. And while the gunplay and visuals were vastly improved, many players wondered if Destiny 2 would ever recapture the feeling that they had had for the first game. When the Forsaken expansion came along, it breathed a lot of fresh air into Destiny 2 and had a lot of oomph to it, but wasn't quite the level of the Taken King. Yet many players were optimistic about what the future could bring. After Bungie's parting ways with Activision, Destiny's publisher at the time, Bungie essentially had to restart and figure out a new formula. Activision's presence apparently was a huge factor in many players' disdain with the game, as Bungie claimed. So with the release of the Shadowkeep expansion, we had an all-new Destiny formula to learn, and in a way, at this point, you could have said it was kind of like Destiny 3 had launched. There were so many elements that were added, and for the very first time, Bungie was calling all of the shots. Bungie had some hiccups with the Shadowkeep expansion, and players again were worried about the future of the game. But Bungie listened to its fanbase, made many adjustments, and quickly redeemed itself just a year later with its Beyond Light expansion, which would then finally pave the way for Destiny 2 to have its Taken King moment here in 2022 with the Witch Queen expansion. The Witch Queen expansion truly has breathed so much life into the game and has officially made Destiny 2 one of the greatest games ever. The number of times this game could and probably should have failed is too many to count. But Bungie has crafted something truly unique and amazing. But if you're a returning player who feels a bit lost, or a casual player who wants to get more out of the game besides just grinding PvP for hours and hours on end, then you've come to the right place. I feel like I fall somewhere in the middle of a casual player and someone who could do all the hardest stuff in the game, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt and realize these are my personal observations and opinions of the game. To tackle the best parts of Destiny, I feel like we have to discuss its biggest flaws and acknowledge why many people don't stick around, and then we'll talk about how to overcome those things. First off, even a casual Destiny player won't have a traditionally casual gaming experience. To get anywhere in this game, you have to pop in a few times a week to level up and access the best parts of the game, and what's worse is that Bungie isn't going to hold your hand during this process. I've been playing the game regularly for years, and even I get a little turned around when something changes with the game. Not only is accessing some of the best content in the game a chore at times, but trying to grind for the best weapons and gear feels very overwhelming and borderline impossible at times, which can be a big turnoff if there's something that you want that feels like it's unattainable. This is a bit of a double-edged sword though, because since there is now so much content for the game, there would be no way for Bungie to hold your hand through everything. Even without the hints and hand-holding, Bungie has managed to find a near-perfect blend of content for the casual and hardcore player, so let's talk about it. If you pop into Destiny a few times a year, this is going to be a good place to start. The Witch Queen campaign feels very much akin to the Taken King's campaign, and in a lot of ways is a true sequel. But Bungie has gone even further to make a legendary version of it for those who want to level up a little bit quicker and maybe who want a bit more of a challenge. Your light level is key to unlocking more content, and to do that, you're going to have to grind for your life to acquire better weapons and gear to raise that light level. The campaign is a great place to start, and if you're feeling up for a challenge, you can even try legendary mode. You will blow through the campaign pretty quickly, as there is only 8 main missions, and Bungie is horrible about suggesting what you should do next because they want you to explore like you're a toddler in Disneyland. What they don't realize is how anxiety-inducing that can be, as there is so much to do in the game. So I'm going to tell you what I did and I'm still doing. Aside from the new campaign, there is a seasonal event that continues overarching things happening in Destiny lore outside of what's going on with just the Witch Queen. And this season, it's an event known as PsyOps, where you capture Savathun's agents to get information as to what could be coming next for Destiny. It's a pretty fun event that can give you some pretty dope gear, but it also provides a slew of bounties for you to complete in the game and offers powerful gear each week that can help you level up much quicker. Let's talk about that because there's a lot to follow. There are vendors throughout Destiny that give you bounties each day. However, if you complete a certain amount of bounties per week, then you unlock more powerful gear as mentioned before. There are 5 vendors in the tower that offer powerful gear: Zavala, Shaxx, Banshee, the Drifter, and Hawthorne if you're in an active clan. Zavala gives you bounties for strikes, Shaxx gives you PvP bounties, Banshee the Gunsmith gives you general weapon challenges to complete, and the Drifter gives you bounties for Gambit. These are the most common vendors and generally offer the easiest bounties to complete. However, there is more outside of that. As I mentioned before, the Helm offers bounties for PsyOps, but there is an additional event for the 30th anniversary pack that is $30 extra that offers another vendor that awards weekly powerful gear, which honestly is worth having because the event is a blast and you get an opportunity to, get more experience and level up your seasonal content. With the Witch Queen launch, there was a release of a new location to explore, which also offered a new vendor to earn powerful gear. So that's another option for those that want to explore the new world and, level up your reputation with Finch. Those are my favorite vendors to work for. And it may not sound like much, but trying to complete 8 bounties per vendor starts to eat up your time pretty quickly. As you're starting to see, the powerful gear is crucial to leveling up and requires a bit of a grind throughout the week. Or if you're crazy like me and a lot of other players, you can just spend an entire play session just trying to get your gear as high as it can go for that week. However, each vendor's events also reward additional powerful or pinnacle gear just for completing the event multiple times, which is nice since most vendors are going to require you to run those events multiple times anyways to complete the bounties. So if you're efficient and can stay focused, you can actually level up pretty quickly. Once you hit light level 1550, you'll want to start trying to grind for pinnacle rewards that things like only dungeons can offer, as that will be the only way to fully level up your Guardian for the season. As I mentioned before, Bungie wants you to feel like you're in Disneyland, and boy oh boy is there plenty of rides at your disposal that will take up most of your time. Aside from the typical Destiny grind, there are now seasonal challenges that give you extra things to do each week that will give you a break when you're sick of grinding bounties, and tasks can actually be pretty fun as well and really reward you for your time. Not to mention, if you ever get bored, you can always try and grind for a new Triumph seal or peruse your Triumphs, which really is just a glorified side quest log, to see what you may be missing. It's always nice checking off some smaller things, but it's also nice to be surprised by something that is harder than you'd expect. On the topic of side quests, each planet has a lot to offer in terms of exploration, so make sure you go out of your way to find lost sectors and secrets that are unique to each planet. I can promise you won't be disappointed. With the launch of the Witch Queen, there comes new areas, new secrets, a new story, and of course, new guns. Take time to really research how to get these weapons, as they will make your gameplay experience so much more enjoyable and ignite that spark of accomplishment that will carry you through your next task. Bungie is continuing to add altering new changes to the game. What they are doing with class reworks as well as weapon crafting in conjunction with everything else that's already been established and that I've mentioned is building the foundation for whatever is coming down the pipeline for Destiny players and is crucial in keeping the game fresh for veterans of this wonderful creation. There is so much that Destiny 2 has to offer, and anyone who says that this isn't the best that Destiny 2 has been probably hasn't been playing the game for that long. There's a lot I didn't talk about in this video that I probably could have, but I wanted to explore with this format and see how it would turn out. So stay tuned for more Destiny videos because I think I'm going to be making a lot more. I'm no Dado or Mr. Fruit, but I hope you found this video entertaining, and I hope it was somewhat helpful. See you next time. Well, whatever possessed you to check out any of the content that you saw today, I just want to say thank you so much for doing so. If you check the description down below, you'll see that there's a variety of different projects that I'm associated with. This is Wannabe Critic Productions after all. So I just wanted to say, if you enjoyed what you saw today, consider giving some of those other projects a chance as well. There's a lot of stuff that I'm a part of that that I do. If you were here for me or for someone else that you saw today, again, just thank you for checking it out, and I hope to see you again. But until next time, I'm Gabriel Fast, and I'll always be the Wannabe Critic.